Biden's last PM.
Classy. Yeah, you don't see that on Outnumbered. It's pardons up the wazoo from President Magoo. On his way out the door, Biden pardoned Mark Milley, Anthony Fauci, the Jan 6 committee members, including Adam Schiff, Cheney, Liz, Adam Kinzinger. Biden also pardoned his siblings and their spouses. Ooh. I know. The idea being to protect them all from potential prosecution under the Trump administration. Sadly, Joe won't remember any of these pardons tomorrow. But we will, Kennedy. We will. What's interesting about this, I think, especially with somebody like Fauci, it doesn't mean that they can't be publicly investigated in a hearing. And when they are questioned, there's no Fifth Amendment anymore because that goes away when you're mute. So this could end up, if Trump wants to, he could act like there's no pardons and go forward.
Well, these are also just for federal crimes.
What? Yeah.
Unlike you, I didn't go to law school. But
you went to law school?
No, I did not.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. But I would like for aggressive attorneys general in conservative states to go after people like Anthony Fauci for lying to the citizens in their states and harming them and harming the mental health of their children long term. Because although there may not be a lot for him to answer to nationally, I think that you could make the case that regionally people were irreparably harmed. And also, if he didn't commit crimes, if he weren't guilty of something, then why didn't he pardon Deborah Birx? You know, she was the Robin to his Batman throughout all of COVID until she was sucking up too much of the media attention, and he decided to elbow her out of the way. So, you know, he would be the only media darling they were making little tiny dollies for.
That's so true. Why him and not them? Kat, there's so many elements to this. Biden pardons his whole family, so it doesn't look like he's just pardoning his brother, James, which is the real person he's pardoning. Was that a good strategy? It's like I said this yesterday in the 5. It's like poisoning 5 people so they don't know that you are poisoning your spouse. And then you become the suspect. But if all of them are poisoned, then there's more suspects.
That's very specific.
Yes.
There's always more people to pardon. I think Trump's going to have to be the one to pardon Mark Zuckerberg for looking at Jeff Bezos' wife's boobs.
Yeah.
I mean, that was flagrant.
Yes.
But in his defense, it's the first time he's seen boobies in real life. He's seen a lot of VR boobies, but never up close like that.
I know. My pregnancy is the first time I've seen boobies in real life. I think that, you know, he should have just pardoned even more people. Because today I was switching around the channels and I watched ABC for a little bit. And as soon as Trump was done speaking, they're talking about the January 6th pardons. Yeah. They're not mentioning for the longest time all of these Biden pardons, this unprecedented, at least in recent years, number of pardons, and the way this is being done and the preemptive pardons. And when they do, they say, yes, but Biden said, remember, this is not because any of these people did anything wrong, but because of Trump threatening retribution. And they never mention it without the other. And it was just so one-sided repeatedly over and over again. So with that kind of cover, he should have just pardoned more.
Yeah, he should have pardoned himself, like you said.
Yeah, nobody reminded him to.
Yes, he had to have it posted on his forehead. You know, you can't, Tyrus, the distinction between Trump's Jan 6 pardons and Biden's is Trump pardoned people, Biden pardoned pals.
No, Biden pardoned the criminals before they could be found out.
Yeah.
So, and that's why he did it, or they did it, in the way they did it. 15 minutes out the door. Clever, because I guarantee the inauguration speech would have been a scotch difference had he had heard that you just pardoned them. What he's basically doing, now listen, every one of them screamed up and down, I don't need a pardon, I'm innocent. It's like someone's like a murderer. Yeah. And he's like, I did not murder. But in case anyone thinks he did, we're going to pardon him. So if there was a murder that eventually pops up, he's good. They committed crimes. They lied. They had a Hollywood producer make this thing. It was the Jan 6 opportunity. They sat around, how do we get rid of Trump? They saw a protest, a peaceful protest, their words, and then they infiltrated it with volunteers to get them to go inside because this was our moment. They didn't call in for help because we've got them. And they don't want the American people to know that. But we already understand that now. So when Trump pardoned, because this America, we can smell like we all grew up in Texas. We just get it. If he would have just pardoned them, even Republicans would be like, no, that's not right. Okay, because they committed a crime. But when you know that it didn't smell right to begin with, and he's giving blanket pardon, Fauci, his decisions ended families. Like, ask Janice Dean how she feels about Fauci's decision. Ask anyone who couldn't say goodbye to their loved ones or their grandparents died alone in the winter, and this dude gets a pass. No, you put his ass on that stage, and you make him, since he doesn't have immunity anymore, or you find a little lady that he kicked out of the spotlight, because I'm sure she has a lot to say. That goes back to my previous thing, never have your ex talk about you in this situation. Let her talk.
Greg, I'm a screenwriter, so I think of worst case scenarios and sort of funniest case scenarios. What if Fauci comes out tomorrow and says, I kill pets at night? I break into backyards and I poison cats and dogs, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Can I ask you one more question?
Sure.
What about Adam Kinzinger? He said he didn't want a pardon. Should he refuse it?
Has he refused it?
Well, he said he would prior to it.
I'd use it.
Yeah.
You know, there's probably a lot he doesn't remember about his own past.
Yeah.
And if I had the chance to wake up from a hangover, of 10 years and had dated Chinese spies, is he the guy that did that? No.
No, that was
Swalwell, Eric Swalwell.
They're all the same to me, the scumbags.
For this argument, he is.
Yeah, let's say he was screwing a Chinese spy. We just don't know about it.
Yes.
I would take any blanket coverage of the past. But some of these pardons go into the future.
Yeah.
Even Jesus couldn't pardon your future crimes.
Yeah, no.
This was the Pope, not a president.
Good point.